Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw, talking some fantasy football today, my friends. We're going over the latest headlines, and right now, a lot of talk in Denver about a player by the name of Ryan Terrain. This is a fifth-round pick out of Arizona State. Probably haven't heard of him because he hasn't done anything so far this season. He's been out because of an injury, but he's starting to come back. Just to refresh you, what did Mike Shanahan say during the preseason? He said that unlike the other running backs, Terrain is a top pick potential type player. He has that ability. Now, I don't think week 8 after the bye is going to come back and give you 100 yards or 20 carries, but I do think he might be worked into the offense a bit more for the second half of the season. And if so, a pretty good investment on a guy who right now is available for the most part in most fantasy leagues. All right, next up, Maurice Morris is returning from a bad knee injury. It wasn't all that bad, just missed a couple of weeks, but during those weeks, Julius Jones was sensational. Keep in mind, Maurice Morris was fantastic last season, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, I guess filling in for Sean Alexander, who truly struggled. Now, Maurice Morris is expected to be the starting running back this year for the Seahawks, even with Julius Jones in town. Jones did well when he was out, so what does that mean? My guess, Julius Jones right now will get 60% of the carries, but this is an ugly situation for those who have Julius Jones on their team because his value does go down with less carries. As far as Maurice Morris, if anything does happen to Jones, he certainly will have a very, very big spike in his fantasy value. Next up, let's talk about Matt Schaub. This is a guy who plays quarterback for the Houston Texans. He struggled immensely so far in the beginning of the year, had a nice performance against Jacksonville. This weekend, a lot of people got excited because he played against a somewhat weak defense, but what happened? Nothing. He didn't play. It ended up being Sage Rosenfels going ahead and taking part in a big performance against the Indianapolis Colts. Unfortunately, he did have 3 turnovers down the stretch, which is what is going to allow Matt Schaub back in. Now, he should be back. He had a bad illness this past weekend, but it's gone past. He should be just fine. He's a decent start from here on out, but keep in mind, Sage Rosenfels is a decent backup. If Schaub continues to struggle, Rosenfels will be right back out there. Next up, Eddie Royal hurt his ankle. What does that mean for the Denver Broncos passing game? Well, it looks like Darrell Jackson, assuming he's healthy, he's had his own injury issues with his knee. If he's healthy, Darrell Jackson comes back. Eddie Royal probably going to be out for a couple of weeks. Same goes for Tony Scheffler, by the way, so keep both of those guys idle on your bench. Darrell Jackson, a decent pickup, but I'm sure there's some better options out there. And finally, the latest on Brian Westbrook. Everyone wants to know. Unfortunately, there's not much information being passed around right now. This is a guy who broke a couple of ribs this past weekend, a guy who actually hurt his ankle and missed a game because of that a couple of weeks earlier. Now, Brian Westbrook's actually having a very down season when you compare to the huge numbers he put up last year. Right now, he has not been the second or even the third best running back in the NFL, and that pretty much is where his draft value fell. So that's not a good thing right now for those who picked him up. Corral Buckhalter is a guy you certainly want to zero in on because if the fact is that Westbrook is out because of these broken ribs, well, obviously his stock is going to go down with them. Well, my friends, that's It's a Shaw Thing for now. Any questions when it comes to fantasy sports, check us out right here at opensports.com.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.